Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the UR Pod Usage Rate. Having a look at the Sydney Kings as we launch into the NBL Blitz. Players to keep an eye on in the world of NBL Supercoach. So, got a few new players. Who are we thinking, Baz, will be players to keep a close eye on?
Well, I'm thinking a guy, and I have no idea why there's no hype around him. Ex-NBA player, he's played over there. Is Denzel Valentine. And I had no idea why there was really no hype, no media around this, especially being in a big market team like Sydney. So I started Googling to see if he was injured or whatnot, and ended up stumbling across a video of Denzel Valentine getting in a fight at the baseball, and that's how deep I went to find out what was going on. It wasn't him, but it's how deep I went to find out why this guy's not getting any recognition or any hype around him. So this bloke, 16, 8, and 8, and he's put up those numbers. So he's can contribute across the board. He's played in the NBA. We've seen how hard it is to score in the NBA.
Yeah.
So for starters, I hope people don't get confused that he put up 16, 8, and 8 in the NBA. He put that up in his competition last season. But in the NBA, he did play there. He did play some minutes on some good teams as well. I remember he was playing on the Bulls. I even had him in my NBA fantasy team at one stage because he was a good contributor in steals. So not sure why there's no hype around this guy. Someone's got to take the Vasiljevic points. Someone's got to take the Cook. And the Derek Walton, I think, goes to Jalen Adams. I think Ho can fill that Cook spot. So it means that he could probably take Vasiljevic's points. Plus, yeah, I just think that this guy, for an ex-NBA player, priced at $277, I think he's got to be on your radar. You've got to be watching him in the Blitz. And for me, I've got him in my starting lineup. I've got him on the court. He's a guard forward, so I can rotate if things aren't working. But yeah, he's a lock for me. I'm not sure why there's no hype.
Interesting. Quite like the baseball fight story. But
it's so random.
but played in the G League last year. He's openly said the NBL competition's a bit better than he thought it would be. And he's looking to be here for 1 year and be back in the NBA next year. So he's got that chip on his shoulder. Averaged approximately the 48 points in the G League. So yeah, he does look like a pretty good option, doesn't he? I guess it just really depends on which direction you're going. If you're looking at getting a Cotton, and maybe one of the other Sydney players, Jalen Adams, you're probably not going to be able to afford to get Denzel Valentine in there.
No, you're not. So that's essentially where you can probably make that choice. Do you go, Cotton and your $69 player, or do you take Denzel Valentine and probably another player priced around that 200K mark? So that was my thinking, and I've got him in, and I don't know if it'll be a unique pick. I don't know what. I don't know how it'll play out, but he's on my team at the moment.
Yeah. We'll have a look at Jalen Adams now. Obviously played in the NBL 2 years ago. Was an absolute freak. He averaged a pretty high number as well, didn't he?
Yeah, we had a look at that earlier. He was nice. Plus, as he says, he's got unfinished business. So you mentioned that, Valentine has a chip on his shoulder. It sounds like Adams is as well. Yeah. So if these two blokes are coming in and wanting to win a chip, Sydney already have that culture. These guys are going to be playing pretty hard from the get-go, I reckon.
Yep, for sure. So he averaged around that 50-point mark as well a couple of years ago. Yeah. So I think it's either him or Cotton at that point guard spot for me.
Yeah, well, I think he's a nicer option because he does save you a bit of coin.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a little bit cheaper than Cotton. And could he put up he's 100K cheaper. So could he put up similar numbers to Cotton being 99K cheaper, or could he be your player that you use to get up to Cotton? Probably not for me, but if I had him from the start, I'm probably riding him through. Yeah. And also probably his captaincy option as well with a favourable fixture.
Yeah, definitely. So they start with one game in the first round and then 2-2. And then they're back to a couple of ones. So they've actually got quite an interesting fixture. They're pretty, they've got twos and ones and all over the place. So they don't really string a lot together. It's
Yeah, which
interesting.
probably makes it probably a bit of a safe, can make it that a good pick, because you're not going to have games where you have a big spread with him not playing 2 games. So rather than those guys that we're looking to trade in for the 2 games in a row, so say Cairns players, we're obviously targeting them at a specific round. This could probably work more in our favour. You've only got 2 trades a week. So you're not going to be able to trade in, oh, quick, let's go and get these guys that play 2 games every week for the next 3 rounds. You're not going to be able to do that.
No.
So by having probably that spread across the board in your fixture might really help you out. So yeah, he's certainly, yeah, I reckon you're right. He is a good pick.
Yeah. Another one who was in the NBL last year, DJ Hogue. So we've spoken about his price in previous episodes at $375 and a break even of 32. So you said that he will take a lot of that Cooks, a lot of Cooks' role in the points and the rebounds. He's as good of a passer. He was up there in the league in blocks for sure as well. So yeah, he's going to be. He could be a really interesting one. I don't know if he scores as high this year, given the extra support that he's got around him.
Yeah, I think you're right with that. If you look at his role last year with Cairns, he was probably primarily had the ball in his hands a lot, and also was certainly an offensive option. But yeah, with Adams and Valentine, he's now probably sharing that load a little bit more. So I think you're right, but he's a quality player. And I was really surprised. I was really surprised he went to Sydney. I thought that the role he carved out with Cairns and the way they were going, I thought that he would stay there. So obviously going to Sydney, a successful club, maybe he's chasing that championship as well. So yeah, he's nice. He's a real nice player.
Yeah, I like watching him too. But yeah, anyway, and another one that you're pretty keen on.
Yeah, I'm really undecided on this one. And it's an intriguing pick. I think I've been kind of looking at it as imports and next stars has been essentially what my team is looking like. So pretty high risk. But Jonah Bolden is priced at 232, so it's 40K cheaper than an import. And could he give us import numbers? So could he easily go up in price? He's an ex-NBA talent as well. We know that. It does have a fair bit of support around him with Hunter and Noy in the power forward and centre positions. He is coming off injury, so whether he has a bit of a lighter schedule early on. But yeah, I think it's a bit of an intriguing pick. I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I'm not sure what his minutes are going to look like. We'll know more. But yeah, a little bit cheaper, price at 232, makes him someone who's on my radar.
Yep. Yeah, he'll be an interesting watch for mine. He's obviously been out of the game for the 3 or 4 years. It'll be interesting to see if he needs a few games to get his legs under him. They always say there's no fitness like match fitness. So it'll be interesting to see if I can't see him playing more than 20, 25 minutes a game early on, especially. And then from there, I guess it'll depend on how he's going. I think he's a really risky pick to start with. And they've obviously got that in bench insurance in Geordie Hunter as well, who's had a couple of injury-related years, but he looks healthy, ready to go now as well. So I think they'll probably play 20 minutes each a night, especially to start with.
Yeah, I think Hunter's certainly, you watch him in some of those games he played last year, he can certainly provide a very valuable role. He's not your typical backup centre that's just kind of going to go on there and just hold down a defensive end. You can see he plays passionate. He can shoot the ball. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter for a centre. So yeah, I think that they've certainly got the insurance there for Bolden if they do need to monitor him. That's not like they're just chucking out any player there. So yeah, I certainly agree that maybe the minutes aren't going to be there or as high as we like. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to leave Sydney there, mate.
Yeah, I think probably the last point is if you're probably looking for that centre pick in Bolden or Wardenberg. Probably have a look at the schedule and see which player you think suits you better there, because they're probably going to similar price and could probably give you similar output.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, mate. We'll move straight along to our boys down at the nest, ready to march. See you, everyone.
See you, mate. Bye now.